Do you join in the song when they sing it? When they sing that?
Little bit. A little bit. When Big Matt saved that penalty, it was a wrap. And we were like, oh my God, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we just exploded. And for me, the icing on the cake was that Wolves had asked me then, you know, if we win this, will you sing at our party? So for me, the stakes were double high because I was like, I really want to sing at this party because I want to meet some of these people. Bullies always said, I'm going to come on stage with you one day. I'm going to come on stage with you. You're not. You're not. Steve Bull, you are not singing with me. Ever.
I am mega excited for this. Not only one of Britain's finest soul singers, you've had a glittering career at the very top level for nearly 30 years now, which I find difficult to believe given that you only look 30. So I don't get that at all. We're talking 9 albums.
Yeah.
We're talking 14 top 40 hits.
Yeah.
You're a star in the West End. You've hosted your own radio show. Mm-hmm. You are a musical icon, Beverley Knight. But I want to talk to you today about your other great passion, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yay!
But before we get into it, I've got a theory.
Go on.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I might have looked too much into this. Now, have you heard this theory? You know ABBA the musical, which is a smash
Yes.
everywhere? There's this theory going around that actually they wrote the songs in order that later they could be a musical. And when you see the musical, the way it all works so well, I've got a slightly different theory. I've had a look at your career, and I think you wrote a lot of your songs for the Wolves. So, for instance, Greatest Day. Surely that was reference to Cardiff 2003, the playoff final. You only wrote it for that reason.
Of course.
Get Up. Surely for all the seasons you're looking for another promotion.
I love this. This is brilliant.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Surely that is all the players and managers you should have had and all the ones you shouldn't have had.
Right.
So massive, massive welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know you're extremely proud of your hometown, Wolverhampton.
I am.
Even more so of your team, the Wolves. So tell me, where, when and how did you first fall in love with them?
Well, being born in Wolverhampton, but to parents who were originally from Jamaica and came over, my parents were really kind of careful to tell me that I needed to make sure that I was part and parcel of the community around me, and that I don't separate myself. So, get involved in stuff. So they had me involved in all the different clubs and this and that. And music was where I gravitated towards, which was really natural. My whole family's musical. So, and in doing so, you form friendships with folk, and at school, I'd be in the school plays and that and be around people, but they'd always talk about Wolves. And I didn't want to be the one who was left out. So I kind of would just be around the edges having a look at Wolves. I remember, watching World of Sport on the telly and seeing them and thinking, oh.
Yeah, it's fair to say you have picked a team in your lifetime. There's been a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah. It's been...
So let's keep it back where you were as a kid. And I know you were very sporty. You were very athletic.
Yeah.
Did you play football at all? Was there opportunity for you to play at all?
Not.
Is that the only reason you didn't play?
Yeah, because it wasn't a thing. Women, girls did not play football when I was a kid. I never saw it anywhere. The only time I ever heard about girls playing football was when they played soccer, in the US. That was it. But in my school playground, you must be joking. Your job was to stand around and watch, or if you were me, I'd be off playing rounders or I'd be off doing netball. But, or we'd all do British Bulldog. But we certainly weren't playing football. I had no one to look at. It was beyond my comprehension that women could play football, and certainly not in any kind of proper capacity.
So isn't it a case of, was it not even on your radar because of the lack of role models or lack of, you just didn't even think about playing?
No, to me, football was what the lads did, and because it was such a, like a religion, certainly in Wolverhampton. So, I was happy to just go along with that. It's only when you get older, you're like, oh, hold on a minute. That's a bit weird.
It's not right.
That's really weird, actually. It's a game like any other. But as a kid, the lads played it. I had a look and thought, we're not doing so well, are we? These were the days of when Kenny Hibbitt, he was kind of doing his thing. And I remember his daughter Kelly went to infant school with me. And that was like a step closer to someone who was famous.
Well, he was in his day, he was a fabulous player, Kenny.
Exactly. So that was, that made me feel as though, okay, Wolves could be a team that I could get into. I never even got to go to games or anything.
So what was the first game you got to go to? So you were loving them from afar. Again, were you not really encouraged to go because the girls weren't going to watch football?
Girls, no. Back in the days of everybody standing up, the terraces and that, this is way before, the all-seater after those terrible disasters in the 80s. It wasn't a tea. It wasn't a thing that I would even have considered going to. And back then, of course, the reputation that football had wasn't great. So my parents weren't going to have a bar of it. And who was going to take me? My dad was into cricket, like big time into cricket. In those days, the West Indies ruled the world. So that was my dad's thing. My mum would always be like, oh, I wonder what Wolves are doing. Oh, she'd always ask, who won at the market? Who won today? Oh, good on you, Wolves. Come on, Wolves. With real understanding.
By this stage, though, you're looking out for their results and you're starting your career, etc.
I'm kind of looking out, but but through friends at school, it was like a vicarious experience of Wolves and them. And if Wolves were playing at home, the buzz was crazy. And that was my way of getting into football. I think I really started to get into football a lot more when 86 rolled around and it was the World Cup and it was Mexico and everybody had their, I think the Panini stickers and you were swapping cards and, then I thought, oh, actually football's pretty cool,
So early days, early days, who was before you started going, who were your favourite players?
Well, I liked, because
you knew his daughter.
Kelly, I liked Kenny Hibbitt.
Yeah.
And I remembered way back in the day, it was like your Emlins and people like that. Oh my God, these names, they were these names to me, and Don Goodman, these luminaries. But the first player that
have you told, I know we both know Don, have you told Don you were my idol when I was growing up?
Do you know what? And he was well chuffed. I saw him last week. He was well chuffed about that. Yeah.
So first game that you went to?
But first game that I went to wasn't until the 2000s, wasn't until I had my career. And that would have been, we played Preston North End, but it was at home and it was cold, and I was with a family friend and his wife, Carl and Carol, and they took me along and we're like on the upper tier, and Steve Bully was a big person for me. That's who I really liked, but this is long after he'd been and gone by that point. And I remember we lost. But I got it. For the first time in my life, I got what it was really about, not just what the lads at school were saying or what I saw on TV, and even, you know, watching Bully on TV, thinking, oh God, that guy's amazing. Oh my God, he's Wolverhampton. I really understood what the drug was, you know, that kept you coming back.
What was your overriding impression of that first game, do you think? Not the actual match itself, but the whole experience.
Thrill. It was thrilling. Just hearing everyone around me singing their hearts out. Just looking out and seeing this vast crowd. When I think of crowds, I think of music. I think of being on stage. But seeing that same feeling, that same enthusiasm, but it's football. You know, it's for a match. And just being immersed in it as opposed to being the person doing the entertaining and looking around and just hearing the roar of the crowd. I forgot about how cold it was after a while. You know, it was really, really exciting. So much so that you get carried along with it, you know. Everybody's singing, you start singing, don't even know half of what they're singing, then find out and go, oh, maybe I should have sung that.
Did you join in when they play the Liquidator at the start?
Oh, absolutely. That I remember. The first
because West Brom play it as well, don't they? And they both do the same.
Everybody does that same thing.
Do you behave yourself or do you join in?
Oh no, I do behave. You're looking at me like.
Do you join Do you join in the song when they sing it? When they sing that?
Little bit. Bit. But then they'll, you know, when we get into the clapping and the hi ho,
yeah,
Wolverhampton, you know, then I'm in.
It's interesting what you say as well, though, being an entertainer, because by the early 2000s, your career has taken off. You know, you're extremely well known. The fact it's a break for you being there, you're not the centre of attention.
No.
It's not about you.
No.
And you are just a member of the crowd. Was that a big thing, almost psychologically? You thought, I can be Beverley Knight the person, not Beverley Knight the singer.
Yeah. And no one cared, you know, that I was this person who they'd sit on top of the pops or whatever. No one cared because it was all about those guys going out and delivering 4 walls. And at that point, I was just like everybody else, wanting and willing that we had the win. We didn't that day, but, you know, just having that same feeling. It's a real equaliser, I think, because even to this day, you know, the cameras, when you're watching a match, the cameras might quickly show, oh, look, there's Liam Gallagher watching Man City, you know, but no, they might show it for a minute and now we're back to the action because it's not about that. It's about the game.
Well, it's always you and Robert Plant at Wolves, isn't it?
Me and Planty.
you and Planty, always guaranteed at Wolves. And Susie Perry.
Definitely Suze. Oh, my God, Suze, monster fan, yeah. Jackie Oaty sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was it when you went... But by the 2000s, were there enough women at the games that you didn't feel odd one out? Did you feel it hugely different from your childhood?
Yes, that whole kind of thing. It was almost like that era of football had been swept away. I mean, some of it was, as we know, because the stadiums themselves changed and the whole, there had to be change, you know, after those tragedies. And then on top of that, after the whole kind of hooliganism tag that England fans had, particularly, and British fans, that all seemed to be swept away and it became more family oriented. So that was for
just
me comforting,
more inclusive, more welcoming,
much more welcoming all round. So, you know, I mean, by then I'd heard of a supporter group called the Punjabi Wolves, who I'd never even thought again was a thing, and they'd come and they'd play their drums, and you know, the Sikh guys, so they had the turbans and everything, and I'd look around and think, oh wow, this is a temple for everybody.
Did you get in touch with them? Did you know them?
I know there's one lad called Manny who, he's Wolves to the core. He travels all over the world for Wolves, but he also raises money for charity. So everybody knows Manny.
Brilliant.
He's always cooking samosas and selling them off outside of Molyneux. They always go. He's a really good guy. And he was one of the people in Punjabi Wolves. And over the years, kind of met on social media over the years, I've kept in contact with him. And yeah, you just realise the amount of people who are fans of your home team, and it's really great. And the amount of women who go, that's great.
I like the way you leant into that, like a tackle. Women. So having gone to your first game, how much did that then accelerate your love for them?
Oh,
was that
absolutely.
a game? Was that quite literally a game changer?
It really was. I mean, and even though we lost, it wasn't about, for me personally, it wasn't about the fact that we won or lost. It was just being there, being welcome, not feeling like a weirdo, not feeling like people are going to look at me and go, what's she doing here? You know, that was everything. And I just felt like, I need to go again. And so I did.
And how regularly did you start going? How obviously you're juggling your career as well.
Yes.
How much did it become a passion?
It was and is sadly infrequent because music is so all-consuming, and now on top of it, acting, theatre and all the other
your commitments.
Things. So it's difficult, but I can still. There are times where I'm like, I can make that game work. So, off I'll go home, or sometimes, I've watched Wolves here in London, whether it be at Stamford Bridge or Emirates or whatever.
So whenever you can go, you go.
So, yeah, when I get the chance, I like to go. It's just, atmosphere.
Did it get, in your experience, has it ever got any better than the 2003 playoff final?
Oh, my God.
Where were you when you watched it?
I was there.
Oh, you went?
I was there. 2003, I was there. There was me, my mum. Yeah, Dolores came. I've got to come and see it. It's so exciting. There was me, my mum. Like I said, my dad was never going to go. He's a cricket man. My brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. We all went as a family, drove down there. And what made it even more exciting for us was my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, her family, to her father, Sheffield United.
Oh!
So we were.
And you sat together?
We were sat together.
Oh.
Wolves End, of course, but the banter. And so we had to go all the way to Cardiff, and we were there. The atmosphere, I mean, it's a playoff. It's, the stakes are high. I mean, seriously high. And, we're singing in the top of our voices, and
First one goes in.
That's it. It goes in. We erupt. I mean, because I'd never seen a football match on that kind of a scale, It would have been at Wembley. It couldn't be at Wembley. Wembley wasn't finished yet, so everythking was at Cardiff. But it didn't feel like second best to me, because that was my first time doing anything like that. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how that felt. And then we won. Oh, my God. I mean,
you're 3-0 up and cruising.
We were flying. I remember that the Sheffield United fans had already, they'd started to leave because they were like...
You were 3-0 up at half-time.
At half-time. I mean, we were
home and hosed.
So it was ours. When we came back, it was ours to lose, if you know what I mean. So we were like, okay, hold tight. We've got to hold tight.
Come on, you've got to be... You're 3-0 up. They get a penalty, which Matt Murray saves.
Yeah.
And he says to this day, that was the turning point.
It was.
If that had gone in, who knows what might have happened.
Exactly.
You can't be worried at 3-0 up, surely.
No, but because I'm not like some kind of expert. I have just seen how things can go badly wrong, how shoulders can start to droop, and how, play can just go out the window, and you make one mistake, which leads to another mistake, which means to love, and it can just go wonky. But let's just say quietly confident. But when Big Matt saved that penalty, it was a wrap, and we were like, oh my God, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we just exploded. And for me, the icing on the cake was that Wolves had asked me then, if we win this, will you sing at our party? So for me, the stakes were double high because I was like, I really want to sing at this party because I want to meet some of these people because this is really exciting.
Did you know any of them before the final? Any of the players? Any of the lads?
No, not before. Once I'd sung...
Did you know them? Did you know the manager, Dave Jones?
I knew Dave Jones. I still, from time to time, hear from Dave Jones.
Great bloke. One of the most cynical joke tellers I know. Fabulous fella.
Really, really lovely guy. And his wife Anne, and I knew Chloe, his daughter, sang at Chloe's wedding actually.
So they'd reached out to you already. You knew Dave.
Yeah.
And then they said, right, come and sing at the party.
Come and sing at the party back home. Oh, my God.
Was it that night, the party?
They had a party and then they had a thing back home as well.
Oh, the reception.
Yeah, and that was just magnificent. It was everything. It was absolutely everything. I do remember coming out of the Millennium Stadium. That was a bit testy because those fans, those Sheffield United fans who had stayed,
not happy,
very, very grumpy. My sister-in-law's dad didn't say hardly anything on the way home, and Sheffield United,
but that was
weren't
such
happy.
A massive moment for Wolves. Do you think, in your entire time as a Wolves fan, that it's ever got any better than that day? You've been relegated, promoted since, but taking everything into consideration, I use the corny line, your song, was that the greatest day? All in.
I think it was. I do, because of where we'd come from. It wasn't like 2018 where that was wonderful, don't get me wrong, sang at that too, but it wasn't that same feeling. That almost felt as though going down into the Championship and then popping back up into the Prem, that whole Championship felt like a bit of a blip, and that we were going to go back up, especially in that season, especially under Nuno. But the run, the years leading up to 2003, it was slog, climb. Then it's playoffs. It's not just automatic promotion, it's playoffs. And because the stakes were so high and everybody was just willing it so much, and it meant so much to so many people for so many reasons, that to me, probably the zenith.
Whether you're on stage or perhaps when you were younger, or if you're performing live, do you ever get nervous at all? Ever get butterflies? And if you
more
do,
like adrenaline.
Would you say that's the most nervous you've ever been, that playoff final?
I was very nervous that day. Yeah. Music when I'm on stage feels like a comfort to me. I'm really happy, especially when I know what I'm doing. The nerves come when I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Then it's like, am I going to get through this? But going to a football match, because it's something that is entirely out of my control, it's not my bag, I am just watching. There is nothing I can do. I used to think oh, but if I wear, this scarf and I have my cup of tea, my little ritual cup of tea, we're going to win. The stupid, just dumb. Just dumb. Like, absolutely stupid. But ultimately, I can't affect it. So I'm sitting there and I'm a bit like, oh, God. Ooh, and then the excitement kicks in and the game's off and you just can't help but get carried away.
Right, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh, dear.
What the two loves of your life, well, two of big loves of your life, Prince and Wolves.
Yeah.
You were asked by Prince and he flew you over to sing at his private party.
Yeah.
And you were asked by Wolves to sing at the promotion party.
Yes.
Which was the bigger thrill?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. How can I be asked? Oh, my God. Oh.
That's not a fair question, is it?
What can I say? I'm a musician and Prince was my absolute idol. Like, idol.
Yeah, but he'd had unparalleled success. Wolves, as we said, were nearly out of business. They nearly bust. Gone.
Yeah, it was dark times, and I know playing that party, the Wolves party, was brilliant because I got to shake the hand of so many people.
Any of them get up and sing with you?
So they didn't. None of them. Do you know the only player? I'm trying to think. No, Bullies always said, I'm going to come on stage with you one day. I'm going to come on stage with you. You're not. You're not. Steve Bull, you are not singing with me. Ever. The only player who's ever kind of joined me on stage, or him and his brothers, was Dion Dublin.
Oh, Dublin's a great singer.
So there you go. But no. God.
That team, though, it was a great team. And what I liked about that team is it was a team of seasoned pros. Mm-hmm. When you got the likes of Dennis Irwin, you've got Paul Ince there.
Yeah,
as well.
Oh, God, yeah. He used to call me Princess. Always used to call me Henry called him Governor. He used to call me Princess.
Who, from that period and in the run-up to the playoff final, favourite player?
God. I really liked... In that whole period, I really liked Alex Ray because he was a bulldog. Mm. He didn't care. He was getting involved and he got into trouble a few times for it, but he had the eye of the tiger. It was only little, but my God, the heart, the passion, the determination, I like that in him. I like the steeliness. That appeals to someone like me. That appeals, It's they say never meet your heroes. So when you actually met them, and it's clear, you've performed there as well. Yeah.
Wearing your Wolves shirt. If anything, it's the opposite for you because it's furthered your love of football, hasn't it? Getting more involved with the club and getting to know the players and the various managers that have come and gone. Yeah,
and it's a great privilege. There are so many hundreds of thousands, millions even, of fans, around the world. You meet Wolves fans all over the place who would love to be in that position, and I don't take that lightly at all, that because of what I do, because I'm in this privileged position as a musician, I have that proximity to these guys who people, idolise and would just dream of being able to just get a handshake, just get a selfie, just get an autograph. And in some cases, I'm able to, sit down, have a meal with them, have a chat, banter, and, have something of a relationship with, and the managers as well. That is special for me. And that means everything that I'm able to do that. And I'm grateful for it.
we talk about on this podcast, and also we are now. I know you also a terrific supporter of Nordoff and Robbins.
Yeah.
You played at the Christmas Carol concert. From Legends of Football, the event I run, we've been going for over 20, 25 years, something like that now. And we often talk to people, and we talk to players as well.
Yeah.
And I know your husband James has his own podcast, and he has worked a lot on psychology and mindset as well. And we talk about the power of music and how it is therapeutic and helps people in a certain way. In a bizarre fashion, would you say football has almost done the same for you? It's your release. It's your, well, without going over old ground here, you can forget everything else. It's there. It's you're completely, it's 100% natural.
And it's because of the similarities between football and music, they're almost symbiotic, you know. You have, even that's a competition, that's a sport. So it's someone wins, someone loses. Music is more of a sharing thing. But in order to do well, you've got to compete, you know. So there is, on one level, there's the respect for, you know, the sport, the training, what it takes, the dedication to do that and to do it in front of so many eyes, the eyes of the world. So there's that mutual respect thing. And then on top of that, it's what they bring to a charitable situation where they're giving all of that love, that time, you know, they could be doing lots of other things, but they choose to give their time and their energy to something which is going to further somebody else, you know? And for me, when I watch football, it's like a sanctuary in a way. They've given their time to charitable causes. They're doing beautiful things for other people, but they're equally doing that for me. You know, they are giving.
They're entertaining you.
They're entertaining me, but they are giving me, just like with Nordoff and Robbins, you know, they are giving me, succor. They're giving me comfort. They're giving me a way to park what I'm doing, music, some of the aspects of music which aren't so scintillating. Yeah. You know, the business end of it.
It's not all glitz and glamour.
It's not all glitz and glamour, you know. And I just get to be entertained. You know, that's wonderful. And I think because I have so much respect for what they do, there's another layer. I'm not sure I'm explaining it very well, but there's another layer to why I enjoy football so much. And it's not just about the game. It's about the respect for the players and, you know, especially what they're about and what a lot of them stand for. I think that's the nub of it for me. And that enables me to relax and enjoy. Because if it was a game where I think a lot of players are just idiots or don't care or don't invest, I don't think I would invest so much in the game or watching. I think I would be like, yeah, football, yeah, it's cool. But actually, most of them are idiots and I'm just not invested in the same way. But I think so many do so many great things that we don't get to see.
Oh, yeah.
Things that we see off camera.
Well, we only see the 90 minutes workplace.
Yeah, and we see the sometimes the tempers flare and whatever. But what we don't see is the amount of good that they're doing behind the scenes, you know, working with local kids coming up or working with charities like Nordoff and Robbins, where you're talking about bringing people out of themselves. It's the respect fuels my enjoyment.
Wolves also extremely unusual in that they've got their own record label.
I know.
Talk me through this.
This is mad. It's mad, and they signed a young artist who's like a rapper. And it's another way of investing in the community. So they're bringing local talent to the fore, which I think is really cool. I mean, I remember when I read about it and thought, are you sure? You know what I mean? But now, actually, when I think about it, and I think it's providing young people with an opportunity. Not everybody can kick a ball. Not everybody is going to have that level of brilliance, you know, with a ball and is going to have an opportunity to play top flight or even second level football. But to give that same opportunity, but in a music, you know, capacity, that's huge. I mean, that's huge.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's brilliant. And again, goes to the symbiotic relationship between football and music. It's the same heart, soul, and that kind of giving nature. You know, you expend your energy on the field, you expend your energy with your voice, and you get so much back. It's great.
That's always been there, that relationship between football and music.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky enough in my job. I've met so many from both worlds. And in my experience, a lot of musicians not only love football, a lot of them wish they'd been footballers.
Yeah.
And a lot of footballers wish they'd been musicians.
Yes.
Has that been your experience at all?
Absolutely. No two ways about it. And I do laugh about it. You know, the amount of footballers, you know, who I will meet and they can't sing. So what can they do that's involved in music? Oh, they want to learn to DJ. That's the next thing. They want to learn to... They just love music. Footballers love music, and the amount of musicians who want to play.
Any of your any musicians you've met over the years, big football fans?
Ollie Murs.
Oh, massive Manchester United fan.
I mean, Ollie...
Does he mention it at all?
All the time. All the time. It's just mad. That's really fun when you meet people who, you know, you can talk to on a music level. Sooner or later, someone's going to mention football, and then you really get the measure of that person because it all comes out. And yeah, every time I see Ollie, you know, we talk football in some way, shape, or form.
I want to bring things to a close. I want to ask you, I mean, you came bounding in with your big beaming smile as usual, which you have everywhere you go from what I've seen, but also off of the back of a win over West Brom.
Oh, my God.
Do you think, now we said earlier on, I could tell by your big smile as you came bounding in today, the win over West Brom meant the world, and you've said 2003 playoff final, it doesn't get any better than this.
It's huge.
But what would it mean to you? Can you imagine using Wolves win a major trophy?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can remember the atmosphere around North London when Arsenal, under Wenger, absolutely smashed it. I can remember how people who had nothing whatsoever to do with football, you know, just came out celebrating all around me. And I wish so deeply for that experience to happen in Wolverhampton. Because when we won 2003 and again 2018, it was huge. I mean, it was massive, 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 especially 2003. It just invigorated the whole town. But if we won a major trophy, to have that, it'd be that on steroids. I mean, it'd be that squared. You know what I mean? The feeling around and what it would mean to local people like me. I don't even know. That'd be a party to sing at. Put it that way. That'd be a party to sing at.
I think that's a yes. You're going to do it if they ask, aren't you?
If they asked, I'd be there, and I'm calling it. I will do it with plenty. That's it. So it's got to happen now because I really want to sing with Planty. So it's got to happen.
Beverley, thank you so much for coming in. Love listening to you. Thank you for your time. You've been fabulous. And I look forward to you singing at the celebration party in your old gold top.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that'll be a moment. Bring it on, I say. Bring it on.
Real fun. Thank you.